Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm with Senator Richard Ojeda, congressional candidate for the 3rd District. Senator, we've known each other a long time. Your family, I've known your family for 40 years. And could you give us some background on what you've done in your life? And I know all about this, but I want you to tell the audience exactly what's been going on with your life prior to becoming the senator and right up until date.
Well, Bolts, I was raised in Logan County, West Virginia, went to school there. When I retired or graduated from high school, I chose the military as my way of life. I'd grown up in a family that had over 200 years of combined United Mine Workers of America. And I decided that the military was the path that I was going to take. And I spent the next 24 years in the military, traveled the world. Uncle Sam was able to allow me to get educated. And I decided after 24 years that I would go ahead and retire. And I returned home to Logan County, West Virginia. And to be honest with you, I was a little devastated at what I saw. I tell people all the time that, I come home and I found in certain areas where children have it worse than the kids I saw in Iraq and Afghanistan. And I say those things because, it's in places like Iraq and Afghanistan, a village will raise a child. But, when I returned home to the United States of America, I found in an area where, mom and dad are addicted to drugs and grandma and grandpa are trying to raise those children, if they're lucky. And they're doing it on Social Security. We have an opioid epidemic that has ripped us apart, and that's when I decided to step in and start fighting for things. We started a nonprofit organization called LEAD that sent over 5,000 children to school with new shoes on their feet. We covered up graffiti. We picked up trash. I started teaching ROTC at local high school. Right. And I'd get my cadets out there on the weekends. My thoughts was, if they know that, Major Ojeda is going to have them out there picking up trash, they'll be least likely to throw it out their window when they leave the Wendy's parking lot. And that's what we did. We worked really hard to try to help kids and do positive things in the community. And I decided one day that I was going to start challenging the powers that be. And I started running for office. And I was successful in winning my senatorial seat. And now here we are, running for Congress.
Yeah, and I tell you, if you watch Senator Ojeda or Major Ojeda, during the teacher strike, I was down there every day. Of course, I'm a teacher and a retired coal miner as well, and there were miners there, teachers there, school personnel, state police, and you led the fight, and it's really a nationwide thing that happened. Tell us about that.
Well, Bolts, you know it because you was right there with me the entire time. You spent more time in my office than I did, I think. But, it was, I was sitting there at the Capitol, and it was like I could not sit silent when I was seeing the things that were going on. Over on the House side, they were pushing legislation that were attacking, our teachers with their seniority, things of that nature. The Go 365, which was dealing with the PEA insurance, was absolutely a travesty. And anybody outside of West Virginia, when they hear about the Go 365, they're shocked that anything like that could ever even be thought of. But yet here, that's what they were talking about. And I couldn't sit there while they were doing the things that they were doing. So I decided to get up and say what I had to say. I didn't know that it was going to start this movement that was going to spread across the United States of America. But I'm glad that I did because it gave our teachers and school service personnel the desire to get in there and fight, and they did. And it wasn't just, the teachers and school service personnel. After a few days, you saw the United Mine Workers of America. You saw the Teamsters. You saw the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. On the other side of the river, you saw the Communication Workers of America on strike, also fighting for job security. And it was like all the unions had come together and was going to stand in this fight. And they did. And in the end, they won. And it was a wonderful place to be. And to know that we were all there while history was unfolding. And the most beautiful thing that you could possibly see today is a photograph of a teacher in Kentucky holding a sign that says, "Don't make me go West Virginia on you." And every West Virginia should be proud of that.
Yeah. Well, one thing that excited me about that, everybody was together. The school superintendents from every county was there.
Yep.
The principals were down there. The teachers down there, school personnel, they were. Joe White was there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was amazing. Christine was there.
Yeah.
The president of the WVA was there. I mean, they were all there, and it was exciting because I tell you, folks, when a guy like this, you hear him talking. I mean, that's where your base is, and we know that you'll stand up against anybody. You know, your service record in the military has shown that. But the thing that I see in you every day is you sit down and you try to work things out. If you need to get tough, you know how to get tough. But you're a person who can sit here just like we are right now and get along with anybody. A lot of people see you and just pound, and I know that's not all to you, and its audience needs to know that as well.
Well, you know, I mean, I have briefed General David Petraeus.
There you go.
I've briefed, other generals. I've worked with the leadership of other countries. You know, when it's time to work together, to sit down and get things done, I can do that in Washington, D.C. I will be happy to sit down. I want bipartisan support. Right. You know, I can sit down with Republicans, independents, it doesn't matter. Let's come to the table, let's throw out the ideas, and let's find the best one that best helps people in our areas to be able to, you know, have a brighter day. Let's do that. I can do that. Right. But make no mistake about it, I don't blindly follow anyone, and if someone says something and I disagree with it, I do comment, because I think that's important for us to do. You know, maybe you have an idea and I don't agree with it completely, but maybe there's some things that we could work together to fix to make that idea a great idea that will support all, and that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and what I saw Senator too down there, I didn't see anyone down in that crowd that wasn't going to vote for you. Not a person. I don't care whether they were a teacher, a school personnel person, superintendent, state policemen. They were all there. They all knew they were going to vote for you then. And of course I know, you know, when you talk about United 55, all those counties that we should see that result in an election. And we're glad you're here and doing this interview. We talked about your background. I've got to say something else about you. I know you don't talk about all the military record, but you know, I see your airborne badge on you, and I know that you have 2 Bronze Stars. And if you want to talk about that a little bit, you can. And if you don't want to, that's fine.
Well, you know, I honestly, it's been pretty tough, this race. I've never in my life thought that my military record would be attacked in the manner that it's been attacked. I've been called a fraud. I mean, it's sad when you think about it, you know. But you know, I did the same thing that most people from this part of the United States does. You know, we chose the military, and I'm proud of the service that I have done to this country.
Where'd you serve, by the way? Where'd you serve?
You know, I spent most of my time at Fort Bragg, North Carolina.
Okay.
But I did 2 years in Germany. I did a year in Korea, and then, of course, while I was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, as a paratrooper, I did a lot of deployments. I was deployed to. I have 3 Operation Iraqi Freedom deployments. 2 of them were actually in Iraq. I had 1 Operation Enduring Freedom, which was in Afghanistan. I was in the 82nd Airborne Division when the earthquake in Haiti took place, and we were the first ones on the ground there and worked tirelessly to try to save and help people. And that's, you know, those are some of the major deployments, and there was also a lot of small deployments, Jordan, Honduras, places like that.
Okay, we got a couple of minutes here before we might take a short break. If you would touch on health care. I know Mitch McConnell's been talking about entitlements, and that's a bad word to most people when we talk about entitlements and Social Security. That bothers me.
It bothers me too, you know, because it's not an entitlement. They talk about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security. First off, we pay into Social Security. So how is that an entitlement? You know, you look at your paycheck, you pay into it. It's people that never have to worry about Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security in order to be able to, you know, take care of themselves. When you're filthy rich, like some of these people are, you know, they can look at these programs as entitlements, but it's not to the average citizen here in places where we are from, especially here in West Virginia. So that's why I will stand and fight to make sure that we protect Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare.
Okay. Well, when we come back, we'll take a short break and maybe we can run some commercials, talk a little bit about, you know, what you've done, and we'll talk about pensions and opioid problems when we come back. So let's take a short break, and we'll be back in just a minute.
Sounds great. I was raised here in Logan County, where I was blessed to be in a family that had over 200 years of United Mine Workers of America experience. Graduated from high school and really had 3 choices, and that was dig coal, sell dope, or join the Army. I chose the military.
Richard Ojeda served 24 years in the United States Army, retiring as a major. 2 combat tours in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan, earning 2 Bronze Stars. He's a husband and father and currently serves in the West Virginia State Senate.
I'm running for Congress because I think we deserve better. We need to diversify our economy, but I think that we also still have a future in coal. I want to protect Social Security. You guys have paid into Social Security your entire working careers. Corrupt politicians care more about a campaign contribution than they care about the people that they're supposed to represent. I'm Richard Ojeda, and I'm running for Congress. And I'm going to put you, the people, before politics. I'm Richard Ojeda, and I approve of this message.
I'm Richard Ojeda. Drug companies have made millions pouring their opioids into our communities, ripping apart our families. What has Carol Miller done? She's accepted campaign cash from the very same companies responsible. She's even profiting from this epidemic, an epidemic that has killed thousands of West Virginians. She actually owns stock in one of the companies responsible for it all, McKesson. I approve this message because Carol Miller's not going to fight this opioid epidemic, but I will.
Welcome back with Senator Richard Ojeda, and I'm Boats Willis, and we're talking about today this election to the 3rd district in Congress, Senator, and you're running for that, and I know you stand up for the people, and if you would just talk a little bit about, we've been talking about pensions a little bit and what's going on with the pensions with United Mine Workers America retirees, and also pensions that people are working in mines that also has a pension with UMWA, but may not be UMWA members or miners, and also people that's getting black lung. It's every miner. It's not
right.
Not just UMWA miners. It's every miner. And talk about that a little bit.
Well, the UMWA miners, in terms of the pensions, that's personal to me because, once again, I come from a family that has over 200 years of United Mine Workers of America experience, and all of my uncles fall under that pension situation. So, it's personal. And I want to do everything in my power to go there and fight. And I've already started working with other congressmen and congresswomen, and I've told them, I said, if you got people in your backyard that are struggling, I'll be there for you. But I expect for you to do the same thing for me. And right now, I've got coal miners that are about to lose their pensions. And they've told me, they said, we'll be there for you. So I feel pretty good that, if successful, I can go forward, and I think I will be able to work with Senator Joe Manchin, and we were going to be able to get those coal miners' pensions taken care of. In terms of black lung capabilities, I think that we need to do everything in our power to make sure that our coal miners that have been exposed to black lung get what they deserve. The truth is it seems like a person that, retires from the mines or gets out of the mines and applies, it seems like they automatically get turned down 1, 2, 3 years in a row before anyone even starts to talk to them seriously about the situation that they're in. And we've got to do better. And that has nothing to do with union or non-union, period. True. Coal miners' pensions, period. It doesn't matter if you're union or non-union. We've got to do everything in our power to protect these people that have given us the light, have given us the coal that has created our steel. We got to take care of their families, and that's for every single coal miner. And I'm committed to every single coal miner. And I will do just that when I get to Washington, D.C. I will fight for every single one of those people and their families.
Well, no doubt about it, Senator, that I know you for coal miners, and no doubt I've known, like I said, I've known your family for 40 years, and they're coal miners, and plus we talk about people getting black lung. You've talked about that. Also, 1969 Mine Act, amended in 1977 for the protection of miners, because we don't want any more explosions like the 29 miners died, and that was my background doing mine rescue for 40 years, and we don't want that to happen. I know you've been on top of that from the very beginning.
Well, I've said many times, I've said this, and I stand by it. The most important thing that ever comes out of a coal mine must be the coal miner. And I will do everything in my power to make sure that the protections are in place to make sure that those coal miners come out. And I want to make sure that, if things are put in place and stay in place that can ensure that we have less people applying for black lung because they don't get black lung. And that's what we need. That needs to be the number one goal, is to make sure that coal miners, when they're retired, don't have to worry about having black lung.
Well, I appreciate you looking into that. Okay, one of the biggest problems we're having in the United States, and especially West Virginia, is this opioid addiction to drugs. And I know you've been a champion to prevent that and get help for that. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, just like in the beginning when we talked about when I come home, that was one of the main reasons when I said there's kids that have it, worse here than they do in Iraq and Afghanistan. We have allowed organizations like I say big pharma, these pharmaceutical companies, to basically throw their drugs at our people like candy. Convince doctors, instead of prescribing this, I want you to prescribe this, and this is Oxycontin and hydrocodone.
Right.
And, they prescribe those to people. 5 days on Oxycontin and hydrocodone develops a dependency. And then what happens is eventually these people are cut off because their doctors say you no longer need this, but now they're addicted. And that's where we're having these people now transition over to harder drugs. Heroin has picked up. Methamphetamine, the fentanyl has surfaced and is taking people's lives. But all of this really has started from the opioids that have been pushed in our state. And we know that we were the lab rats. We've got to stop allowing big pharma to come into our capitals at the state level and national level and grease the pockets of legislators and buy their protection. Because that's exactly what has happened. There's not one single family in West Virginia, especially the 3rd Congressional District, that has not been directly affected with the opioid epidemic. And we are not standing up for our people. We need to look at these companies and say, now you're going to be responsible to bring us the capabilities that we need. We have 75 beds to address this issue in southern West Virginia. That doesn't address the issues in one small community. We need to get big pharma to fit the bill and bring us real rehabilitation. 30 days in jail is not rehabilitation. I mean real centers that work. And then we have to condition the communities, the business communities out there to be able to accept these people. We need to push for support in things like the Second Chance for Employment to allow people that get off of drugs and go a significant period of time without breaking the law to be able to expunge their record as long as it wasn't violent or sexual in nature, so that they can get their life back on track. That's the only way we're going to be able to heal our communities and put people back to work.
Okay. Just maybe one more thing, couple more things. The veterans, and I know you've been standing up for the veterans and it has to go to hospitals and whether they're taken care of in a timely manner or not. And I know you don't think they are, and you've been championing that already. You've championed that in the state Senate, and I know you've been meeting with others, congressmen, congresswomen, to discuss those issues.
Well, number one, we cannot allow anyone to privatize our VA. If you do that, you might as well take all the information that's been gathered from Agent Orange, traumatic brain injury, PTSD, and throw it out the window and start from scratch. We can't do that. First off, there's nobody going to fight for veterans more than I. I'm in the VA system. When I go to Washington, D.C., I will stay in the VA system. That's just the way that I believe. I think that we need to establish more vet clinics. I always think about Nicholas County. Nicholas County, when they go to those veterans there, when they travel to Beckley, it's a long drive. It is a very long drive. And a veterans clinic in that area would be wonderful for those people. They don't need to spend 3 hours in the car to go get their blood drawn. They can do it right there at a vet clinic. But we need one in Wyoming County. We established one in Mingo County, which is the one that I go to. It takes me 15 minutes to get there. Right. And it is a blessing because I used to have to drive all the way to Huntington to do those things. So we need more vet clinics, and I want to strengthen the choice program. That's something that I believe in wholeheartedly. So nobody is going to support veterans more than I.
Yeah, that's what I thought. When we think about the UMWA, they used to have hospitals just about every community, and I know these vet clinics you're talking about, they would be co-sponsored, I'm sure, by the local hospitals to where they can come from the clinic and go to the hospitals and get treatments or whatever they needed to be. So that's another thing I know you've been discussing.
To me, it would be a great thing to be able to do that. The choice program could actually allow people the ability to do just that. Now, I can understand going to the VA hospital. It's important to go to the VA hospital, but if you have an issue that needs to be dealt with immediately, then you as a veteran should have the right to go ahead and say, I'm going over here to my local hospital and I'm going to get looked at right there.
Yeah, that choice, that's a huge thing, Senator, and I really agree with that. And I know the veterans that I talk to every day, and we have them out traveling today on a motorcycle run with Senator Manchin, and they talk about that as well. I think you were going with him, and you got steered up here to the studio. So,
yeah.
But we're glad you're here.
Well, I am too. I'm glad. It would be nice to ride. It's a pretty day.
It is, beautiful day. I'll tell you, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back and maybe talk about a couple more issues with us this minute. We'll take a short, maybe a little bit break here and run your commercials here.
Yeah, boy.
Okay.
I'm Richard Ojeda. One huge drug company, McKesson, has dumped over 5 million pain pills onto a small pharmacy right here in Logan County alone. And they've made millions off of pushing their pain pills. They get away with this because they grease the pockets of the members of Congress. But make no mistake about it, I don't want their money. They need not darken my doorstep. And I will have no problems throwing drug company lobbyists out of my office. I approve this message because I'm sick and tired of watching our politicians sell us out.
Welcome back to Senator Ojeda, a congressional candidate in the 3rd District. I tell you, we've had a nice interview here, and one thing that, Senator, that haven't really talked to you about that much is I've seen some commercials saying that you're tied in with Nancy Pelosi. What do you say about those commercials?
Well, first off, those are just scare tactics. I've never met the woman. To be honest with you, I feel that her policies have hurt West Virginia. And I think that across America, you know, her actions and a few others are what has driven people away from the Democratic Party. I think we need to get back to what being a Democrat is truly about. And to me, that means you support the working class citizens. You support unions, you know, giving people the ability to have a seat at the table. I say if you don't have a seat at the table, you're on the menu. And, you know, if our unions, everything that we enjoy on the workforce, safety on the job, an honest day's pay for an honest day's work, you know, certain vacations and things, those were actually created by unions. And that's why it's important to support unions. And I support them wholeheartedly. And I believe the Democratic Party supports unions wholeheartedly. We need to support and take care of our elderly people. These are the people who built this nation, that fought our wars. We got to stop allowing people to put their hands in the cookie jar of Social Security. I think that we need to either raise the cap or remove the cap, but we want to make it to where Social Security will be here for our children. We got to protect Medicare and Medicaid. Okay? Once again, I don't look at those as entitlement programs like people like Mitch McConnell do. I think these are programs that our people deserve. And I think that as a Democrat, we need to do everything in our power to strengthen those programs. We take care of our sick. Okay? I believe in offering people a non-addictive form of pain management. And that's what I've always pushed. You know, we got to do more than just give people Oxycontin and hydrocodone. I think the Democratic Party believes in those values. I think that the Democratic Party believes that if I'm going to send you away and I'm going to break you in war, then I'm going to fix you when you come home. And I think, lastly, we believe in helping people who live in poverty to elevate themselves out of poverty with a hand up, not a handout. That's what being a Democrat is all about to me. And that's what I push. And that's what I'm trying to let everybody else know, that that's what being a Democrat is. And if we can get back to that, everything will be fine. We can get back on track. But I will let you know this, regardless if you're a Democrat, Independent, or Republican, one of the problems that we have today is people have really chose sides. And it has gotten to the point where it's literally us against them. And that's the way that it's been for quite some time. We've got to realize that when this race is over with, I will be the congressman for everybody in the 3rd Congressional District. And I will work just as hard for that Republican in Nicholas County as I will for that Democrat in Monroe County. It's all about the people. And that's exactly what I believe in. And I'm hoping that we can get back to where everybody can be civil and focus on just trying to figure out ways how we can help the lives of our people.
I tell you, I saw something on Facebook today, and my grandkids got me on Facebook. That's the reason I'm on there. But I saw it today, and the local AFT rep here, Tiggin, she said that she was at an event, and there was a Republican custodian got to meet you, and you started talking about he was worthy for his job, and I've heard you say that many times at the Capitol and wherever you speak. And he said that's the kind of person I want to vote for him. You're a blue collar guy, and you stand up for blue collar people, and that's something we need to remember.
I tell you, but it's the thing is, you are worthy. If you get up and you put on your work clothes and you go to feed your family, you are worthy. I don't care what your job is. As a person who spent 4 years in the classroom, don't you ever tell me that the cooking staff at those schools are not worthy, because they create the most the most decent meals many of our kids are prepared right there in those cafeterias. Those roads that our bus drivers drive on, you know, our teachers. I've never seen a teacher that didn't go out of pocket. Teachers will go buy boxes of shoes and keep them in a closet. If they see a child that has a hole in their shoe, they'll say, "What size are you?" And if they don't have your size, they'll pick up a phone and say, "Hey, Miss So-and-so, I want to send a kid up. You got a size 8, right? Okay, go see Miss So-and-so." Don't ever tell me those people aren't worthy. You know, it's about respecting everybody, regardless of what their job is. You know, and I believe in that. And I think that people need to understand that they are worthy. Everybody has a purpose in this life. And if as long as you enjoy what you do, then you are a success. And I believe that wholeheartedly.
Okay. Fantastic. I think we're going to wrap this up now, Senator, and if you want to add anything to it, that's fine. But it's been a pleasure talking with you today, and a lot of times people don't see you, except when you're out there, you know, on the stunt, giving the message. That message needs to be given, no doubt about that. And I always say, no doubt about it, Richard Ojeda for Congress, and you know, I've heard you say that as well.
I would, you know. In closing here, I just want to say that I'm asking for your vote. I'm asking for you to research me. You know, if you go back and you look at the things that we've done in Logan County for children, the things that I've tried to push in Charleston, the bills that I've supported, Second Chance for Employment, these are bills that I've pushed to try to help our people. And I want to help you in Washington, D.C. I don't think that we've had anyone that has went to Washington, D.C. that has truly fought for us. And I want to be that voice. I want to fight for those coal miners. I want to fight to make sure that our children have the ability to stay in West Virginia versus having to lose when they graduate. I want to create opportunities. I want to bring opportunities to West Virginia so that our people who one day may have to transition away from coal will be able to do so and have jobs that can compete with the coal jobs. But once again, I believe that coal has a future. I think in terms of metallurgical coal, I think we have hundreds of years worth of coal mining to do, because we still need steel to deal with our infrastructure issues and to fix our military might. And I think that we need to allow our coal miners the ability to be able to mine it. So I'm asking each and every one of y'all to please remember me on Tuesday and cast a vote for Richard Ojeda. I will be your representative. I will be accountable, and I will always make myself accessible to you. Airborne.
I'll tell you, it's been a great time here with you. No doubt about it. Senator Richard Ojeda for 3rd District Congressman in the state of West Virginia. I'm proud of you.
Thank you. Thanks, both. Airborne.
Thank you for watching today. I'm Bolts Wilson. We've been interviewing Senator Richard Ojeda, congressional candidate for the 3rd District in the state of West Virginia. Please go out and vote. And as you watch this, consider voting for Senator Richard Ojeda.
I was raised here in Logan County, where I was blessed to be in a family that had over 200 years of United Mine Workers of America experience. Graduated from high school and really had 3 choices, and that was dig coal, sell dope, or join the Army. I chose the military.
Richard Ojeda served 24 years in the United States Army, retiring as a major. 2 combat tours in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan, earning 2 Bronze Stars. He's a husband and father, and currently serves in the West Virginia State Senate.
I'm running for Congress because I think we deserve better. We need to diversify our economy, but I think that we also still have a future in coal. I want to protect Social Security. You guys have paid into Social Security your entire working careers. Corrupt politicians care more about a campaign contribution than they care about the people that they're supposed to represent. I'm Richard Ojeda, and I'm running for Congress. And I'm going to put you, the people, before politics. I'm Richard Ojeda, and I approve of this message.
Richard Ojeda, the grandson of a Logan County coal mining family. Ojeda served 24 years in the United States Army, retiring as a major. 2 combat tours in Iraq, 1 in Afghanistan, earning 2 Bronze Stars. He's a husband and father, currently serving in the West Virginia State Senate.
I'm running for Congress because I think we deserve better. We need to diversify our economy, but I think we also still have a future in coal. I want to protect Social Security, and I'm going to put you, the people, before politics. I'm Richard Ojeda, and I approve of this message.